Hello from Dubai. Welcome to a new episode of AVIAPRENEURS podcast. This is Adnan Branbo, and today my guest is also in Dubai. Despite being in Dubai, we're still meeting over Zoom. Hopefully very soon we will upgrade our resources and we will be meeting new aviapreneurs face-to-face in Dubai and in all other cities around the world. My guest today is from Lebanon. He's living and working in Dubai, and he graduated with Masters of Science in Electrical Engineering from the University of Colorado in the US. Good morning, Mr. Abdul Razzak.
Good morning. Pleasure to be with you, Adnan.
Thank you very much. Mr. Abdul Razzak Mikati is the founder and the managing director of Dubai Technology Partners. Dubai Technology Partners is a service provider that specializes in digital transformation and technological solutions for airports, airlines, and the general aviation industry. He's been in the aviation industry for 20 years, and his company is one of the major providers for most of the airports and airlines in the region. Thank you, Abdul Razzak.
Most welcome. Thank you very much, Adnan, and pleasure to be with you.
You're more than welcome. So, Abdul Razzak, how can someone who has a master's degree in electrical engineering provide technological solution and software solution that transform and make the life of airports and airlines easier in the region?
Yes, very good question indeed. From the time I graduated from University of Colorado back in 1997, my destiny for some reason was in this amazing country, the UAE. So I came straight from the US here, not really knowing what exactly I wanted to do. As every graduate with an engineering degree, you usually are looking for jobs that is linked to your profession and to what you have studied. Luckily, I got a sneak peek at aviation during my study, because my thesis when I graduated from University of Colorado was in control systems. And the project I did there was to control a Cessna airplane, a small Cessna airplane, moving out of the hangar to the runway without having the pilot interfere with it. So he's reading his weather and the route and whatever, and through sensors, it is able to make its way to the runway. So I got the sneak peek, and it was really fascinating for me, this world, especially because I enjoyed very much traveling myself. So I felt, there is something in that industry, but I really did not pursue it. And it was okay, great. It was a nice project, and we moved on. My first job was, installing electrical boards on top of buildings for advertising purposes. And the second, the year I started was end of 97. In 1998, there was a tender floating in the market to install 100, I still remember the number, 116 flight information display screen in Dubai airport. Being a guy who loves technology, plasma screen was something new. I started to learn what it is. I contacted, suppliers, and I decided to bid. And this was the time in 1998 where the management of Dubai Airport decided to give someone who doesn't have any experience a chance to enter and prove himself. And we did an amazing job. So this was almost now 24 years ago.
So you bid by yourself before even setting up the company at that time?
No, there was a company. We were doing something totally not related. But we were good at what we do, and we went, and I still remember the person in charge telling me, "Your CV is blank, my dear. Why you think you can do this job?" And I literally, my knees were shivering under the table when I was having this discussion, being at that young age. But I said, everybody needs a chance, and if you give me that chance, I'll prove to you that it was worthwhile. He was new to the industry. I was new to the industry, and he took a chance on me. And I ended up delivering and getting extension without tender, and never left aviation after that.
So Dubai airports have done a great job in helping the whole aviation industry, having Dubai technology partners supporting all the industry in the time being?
Without doubt, without doubt. It was a journey that started by luck. Once I enjoyed it, it took me to the next phase, which is after that company, I started DTP in 2004 with one of my partners who is trusted me on the vision that we have together, on the importance that the aviation industry is going to play in the economy of the UAE, and the importance of the aviation industry. And this was when I started DTP with him back in 2004.
So you said luck, but for me, it's a great entrepreneurship. And as we say here, aviapreneurship. You saw an opportunity, you studied the market, you collected the resources, and you delivered the job very well, which is, you said luck.
Yes.
But it's a great entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Thank you. It was my first understanding. I never knew the word entrepreneurship. I'm an engineer, so what really I was blessed that engineering teaches you how to systematically look at things, how to study it, how to break it down, how to mitigate, how to analyze risk. And it turned out to be all important in the entrepreneurship world. However, engineers usually do not like to take risks. They like to calculate everything. And this is something that I needed to step out of my comfort zone and learn it.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, currently the universities in the US and mainly MIT, they changed the courses from entrepreneurship to disciplined entrepreneurship, where there is a systematic way of thinking to make creations a reality, a successful reality.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, Mr. Abdulrazak, technology is changing the world as we used to know it. As they say, as some writers say, that software is eating the world, later platforms are eating the world, and very soon we'll hear them saying blockchain is eating the world. So how do you think technology in general, and DTB, Dubai Technology Partners particularly, is actually changing the aviation industry? How is it helping this industry become faster, simpler, more efficient, better overall?
You're absolutely right. I think our kids, probably we are not sensing, but our kids will remember this time as a special times. I think we're living through what I believe is the fourth industrial revolution. We are living it, and we are going through it. It started probably with steam engines, at the beginning, and it took many, many, many years to reach to mass productions and sciences, followed by computers, and internet maybe, and now digital probably is the right word. Everything is becoming software oriented. Everything is being driven by software, whether we like it or not. The challenge that we are seeing right now is the time between developing the idea, applying it, and having this idea run out of steam and creating a new idea has become extremely short. A year is no longer a year, so people are no longer planning for a full year. They're planning for a quarter at most, because things are changing so fast. And I believe today all the jargons word we are hearing, from artificial intelligence to robotics to blockchain to all the words you have mentioned, is going to dictate so many new things that we are not used to. Similar to how earlier revolutions have made some jobs redundant, I think we are in the midst of something extremely big and moving extremely fast. Having said that, our aviation business is, still lagging. I truly believe it's still lagging behind, but it's catching up. And today, technology is at the core of what we do in aviation. There are some key elements which most of the airports, airlines, and aviation businesses are looking for: how to make the journey for the passenger, whoever that passenger is, more seamless, less anxiety. How can they enjoy it and go to the airport as a journey like you are going to a mall? And with all this that is happening, is happening through technology. Today, if you hear the biggest words today, or if you want to call it jargon's word in the aviation industry, is probably seamless passenger journey, which means they're using biometrics to try to enter the airport, and your face becomes your identity. They're trying to push to you toward your profile the right messages that make you more able to enjoy that journey in the duty free, getting to you the right products or the profile based on your profile, making sure that you reach the gate without any challenges. So all these elements today are critical in terms of technology that is happening in the in our aviation world. Having said that, we can add on top of it that companies overall are starting, as you said correctly, to use platforms. And platforms is becoming the new norm because you are able to solve specific pains much faster. And we go back to that speed. You know, customer is realizing a pain. They want a solution that comes quickly and try to find a solution for it. Through platforms, you are able to design special applications and run it and deploy it, test it, and have the customer try it very quickly, especially with being able to access the cloud. You don't need the hardware anymore. It's a matter of subscription, moving from capex oriented investment or opex oriented investment. All this is really helping push that journey in a way that customers, airports, airlines are feeling it, and the final impact is really happening on the passenger through an experience that he feels or she feels enjoying it to the maximum, and the travel becomes more seamless so people can travel more. And I truly believe we are on that journey.
So do you think we will see very soon the experience and the journey of the passenger in the airport where they will have no queues at all?
Absolutely. So I think it is moving toward that. We're starting today, we are measuring in our airports, the length of the queues. We are able, through technological solution that we are providing, reduce the waiting time, provide more resources. We have done projects with local airports in that regard. So yes, definitely things are moving toward no queues, toward no immigration. Probably the hardest part is the security part, because at the end of the day, they need to make sure that you are not taking with you something harmful. And probably this is one of the challenges that will take some time to resolve.
Absolutely. So everything you mentioned are actually major big projects. I mean, when you want to digitize how an airport operates, it's not a small project. It's a major project, and all the airports will mostly tender this project, and they will invite many international companies and local companies to actually participate. It's not easy to win this project, especially I'm sure you will have huge competitions from major players from all over the world. So in the middle of this environment, how could you actually grow Dubai Technology Partners in the face of all these giants bidding with you on these projects? The airports will not be convinced. It's not a small sale, it's a major sale. Huge amounts of money, tens, if not hundreds of thousands of flights, millions, if not maybe sometimes hundreds of millions of budget. How could you win? How could you grow?
We understood from the first day we entered this, this vertical market, I call it, that this is going to be a journey. It is not something that is going to happen as a big bang. For us, we always had a dream. We are not a box movers. We are not someone who's going to take something, provide it to someone, and get a commission on top of that. No, this is not really what we envy as a company or we visualize. We want to really add value. By adding value, you need to be patient. By being patient, you need to use that time to learn. And if you look at our journey, we have divided it probably into 4 phases, where we have started as a startup, like any startup. And we went into the airport mainly to learn. And we were 4 people, This is the number that we started the company with. And we learned through understanding what is proprietary about aviation. All this, you know best, you are in that industry. They have 3 letters almost in everything. And you need to understand through these letters, the conversation, and be in the middle of it and add value to it. So it really takes time. And we took people who were really not in the industry, fresh graduate, and we went through the startup mode. It took us probably 4 years. This was in agreement with our shareholders. So this is not something that we wanted organically. We used the word organically to grow. Then the second phase, after the learning has started, we aligned with international partners who have good products. And through implementation of their product, we started to really have a better understanding until the point where in 2011, I remember, we were awarded a contract directly. We were the actual people who were doing everything from A to Z, except getting the licenses and the software from the international player.
So
until that moment, so almost 7 years until we had the courage, I would say, to bid against the big names and to say that we can win it because we have some sort of a track record. Meanwhile, we understood the importance of data, and we understood how to enrich this. Our area of expertise is planning and operations. So how to enrich these systems with data by being a system integrator. So we had our DNA from system integration. And we started implementing these, software for the airports. And believe me, if you run with a set of values that you live by, and you try to implement it in your company by having your customer as your partner, and by evaluating your most important assets, which are your employees, and by really being fair to your partners, your suppliers, I think this equation will finally equal success, because you are doing everything by the book, as they say, and being local and having an amazing country like the UAE, where they encourage you to be successful, where they clap to you when you make it, almost no corruption. So it's an ideal place for us to prove ourselves and show the world that being a company in Dubai, we can really compete with the big names and prove to them that we have something valuable to offer to that industry. We reached a stage where we probably will talk at one point about it, where we learned from failures. And every company at every stage is going to fail, whether you like it or not. Otherwise, you're not an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
How to turn these failures into something positive is I think what we were blessed in so many instances with. And one of the major failures, I would call it, that we had ended up creating our own intellectual property and deciding not to rely on partners solely, but make it more balanced. And we took a very bold decision in 2017 in saying, we want to create our own software, and we want to show, these players that we have value that we can bring to the table. And without the trust of our partners, like the local airports that we have in the UAE, we would not probably have done that. But because of the track record and the work that we have done and the value system that we are living by, they trusted us, they tested our software, and we proved our case in a really fascinating way, by providing the value that the customer was looking for.
So you started distributing and implementing and reselling the solution provided by the big international companies. And then you moved to creating your own software and solutions. Absolutely. Was it an easy shift, or did it require extra resources, extra plans, and
Yes, you moved from a company that used to deliver, and delivery, it means project management, it means support, to develop, and develop is a totally new game. And this is where we have decided that, we have some people inside the company with some sort of knowledge. We trusted them on that knowledge. And then we started that small department of development that we grew over the time. And now it's a significant department that is playing a major role in the evolvement of this IP and growing it bigger. And today we have our IP installed in the 3 main airports, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Sharjah.
As I know you, and I know that your other colleagues, you're currently also expanding. So you started in Dubai. Your model is somehow different. Normally we see international companies successful in their countries. They move to Dubai as multinational companies willing to support. I see a different successful case here. You started in Dubai, you proved yourself in Dubai and in the UAE, and then now you are taking your success to the region and to other regions in the Middle East and Europe. Can you share this experience? It's really a very interesting story that many of the companies in Dubai should hear and learn from.
Yeah, so the vision that we had was simple. If you build your own IP and you started that journey, this IP cannot be limited to where you are geographically. Being blessed with some of the biggest aviation customers in the world, we are in the middle of the most complex environments. So having helped these partners, as I like to call them, solve these puzzles, I think with one of the airport, we were able to do live optimization of how they park their airplanes in real time. And this is never done worldwide. No, now this software is through a partner. We have a partner called the System from France, who we help implement their solutions. And with them, we were able to implement one of the probably first real optimization. To give you a sneak peek, you spread your airplanes around the airport on the gates or through remote stands by certain attributes. Mm-hmm. And these attributes are usually the wingspan and height. But given how complex this world is becoming, we wanted our customer wanted to reduce minimum connection time. So passenger, jumping from one plane to the other, how can they walk to the smallest distance? And this requires that you try to park your planes in the most ideal ways. And a day at the airport is never a normal day. You have delays, you have early arrivals. So you continuously have changes. And the plan you thought you are going to have is not really valid at all the time. So this system looks at your real-time situation and suggests to you a better plan to park your assets, basically, outside what we call the tactical operational window. And this is something was very unique. We did it over phases, and we were very proud to do it with our customer. So having solved that problem, it is not realistic to keep it contained in this region here. You really need to look for similar puzzles worldwide even, and try to suggest to similar customers with similar profile that look how Dubai was innovative in trying to bring solution to these challenges. We have done it here. There is no reason why we cannot do it there. And now our aim is to geographically grow in the GCC, followed by growth in certain areas where aviation is really playing a major role, mainly Asia Pacific, North America maybe, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. All these are hot regions where today the growth is expected to be exponential, especially after 2 years of sleep, of COVID that really impacted the industry. But we are seeing, a recovery that is amazing, and the curve is moving up very quickly.
You keep mentioning Dubai as one of the reasons for yours and Dubai Technology Partner success. We all know that the place where you set up your startup, your business, plays a significant role in the success and the growth of that business. Startups are known to start normally in the US, in the Silicon Valley, in Europe. We don't much see startups starting in this part of the world. So can you advise us what role Dubai has played in your success, and what did the economy and the country contributed to your success story?
Yeah, without doubt. I mean, you have to give credit to a place that never sleeps, I would call it, to a place that is always striving to be number one, to a place that is continuously pushing the boundaries, and living in that ecosystem helps you become part of it somehow. With such environment, with such culture, you are always pushed by these partners and customers to tell you, look, we know it has never been done, but we think it can be done. And with this mentality, you don't see it everywhere. Usually in the aviation, you play it safe. I want to see 15 references who have solved the problem. And here, no. In fact, they come and tell you, we have no problem being the first one to really implement this. And this is unbelievable. This is something that you as a company being here will take advantage of and leverage on, and they allow you to fail. This is what I can tell you. People in other places do not allow you to fail. Here, they allow you to fail within certain boundaries, to learn from that failure, and to come and fix it. And I have, real examples where this has happened, and the trust that you have fostered over the years play a major role in why they trust in you, especially being local.
Very interesting case. And we really salute the government here, where we see more initiative to bring entrepreneurs, to bring developers from all over the world to be resident here. They are trying to transform the city into a hub of entrepreneurship, of creation, and of innovation. And you're a great example of that.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you very much. During the discussion, you gave so many lessons you have learned in your journey to the listeners of the podcast. Can you brief us of 1 or 2 or 3 advice you think people who are willing to start new companies, new businesses in the aviation industry can follow, so they ensure the chances of their success are much higher, are more predictable?
Sure. From my very limited, I still call it very limited journey that I have been through, number one, requirement being in the aviation industry is patience. You need to be patient to learn and to understand this industry with all its challenges. You cannot be hit and go. You cannot come do deals, and so you need to look long term, not short term. And you need to foster the element of trust I told you about. So trust and having a value system which is ethical, which is straightforward. In the aviation industry, I think customers from all, be it a ground handler or an airline or an airport, is something that they value very much, that you are honest, you are coming and telling them, I'm not there, but I need to learn how to do it. And they are patient with you, and this is what we have witnessed during the journey. Number 3, the most important asset is your employees. I would not stress this enough. We are in a system where really the product is secondary, but the assets and the minds of the people are really the most critical part in having any business succeed. If you don't really take care of your employees and try to make them learn, make them feel happy where they are. Yes, we have been through many challenges where the industry went through major dips, and this puts strain on all of us. But as like any other industry, we go up and down, and this is where I think it's very important to take care of your most important asset. So for me, patience, values, and the set of values that you're living by, and taking care of your, the most important asset, including obviously after your employees, your customers, partners, shareholders, and all this ecosystem is really critical, because aviation, you are not working alone, you're working together. And having this spirit of together is very important for the success that you envision in such very, very difficult industry and very competitive industry.
Very valuable lessons. Thank you, Abdul Razzak.
Thank you. And thank you, Adnan, for hosting me. Wish you all the best with this podcast, and looking forward, to hear your great news always.
Thank you very much. Thank you, fellow aviapreneurs. It's great to have Mr. Abdul Razzak Mikati with me today. I hope you enjoyed the discussion as I did. I look forward to seeing you again next week with a new aviapreneur and with a new success story. Have a great day.